Morning, guys.
How are you?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
You got some people brought some vehicles in, get tuned up before their road trip.
Oh, yeah. We're busy this week.
Oh yeah, I bet so.
And next week.
Yeah, it's predicted to be the busiest travel weekend in history.
Yeah, it's funny how the urge or the need to get your car fixed
Yeah, isn't that finally?
gets more important when there's some holidays coming up.
Isn't that something, yeah.
We're there. We're
Yeah.
here for you.
It really, I think, because so many of the features on a vehicle are computerized and automated, people don't think that they have to do anything, just turn the key and go. But there's some regular maintenance that people should be mindful of.
Yeah, and especially going into wintertime. I mean, one of the things that we try to check when you come in is first and foremost is your battery. Don't need to be out in the middle of, nowhere, Jackson, and
Right.
have your car not start. And then, we really need to look at our tires, folks.
Yeah.
That's something that we really kind of need to do. And, brakes obviously are something that we specialize in as well.
Let's talk about the tires a little bit, right? I mean, I feel like we don't know we need new tires until someone that knows something about tires says, hey, you need new tires.
Right. I mean, and that's what we're there for. It's like if you can stop by, if you're one of our customers, or you just want to introduce yourself, come by, and we'll be happy to go out there. I've got tire gauges that we can check that with relatively easily, and then we can get you an estimate. And then it's simply frustrating for us service people that you wait till the last minute. And you're all there when it's snowing.
Yeah.
Everyone else needs them, so it's like get on top of it. It's the less tread, the more you're slipping and sliding. So.
What about filters? Filters are always those things that.
Yeah, that's what fancy picture there on.
Yeah.
That's one of the cabin air filters we dug out of somebody's vehicle.
Wow.
The last. Fortunately, they had a mouse, but there is a filter under there somewhere, but again, going into the wintertime, windows are closed, air's only coming in through the fresh air inlet. It's usually in the cowl area there. But, those filters you want to change at least once a year. Now's a good time too. That's something that we check whenever we service your vehicle.
I didn't even know there was a cabin air filter.
What are some other winter issues that are common in the state of Michigan? Obviously, when you get snow and ice, you can get some wear and tear, but what are some common things that you see every winter?
A lot of times what we see in the wintertime, outside of the tires and the battery and the starting issues is the big change between some days we have some really big swings between the cold and the warm, and that creates some moisture, and then the moisture can get in there, and we've seen starter issues where starters don't want to turn over, and it's not because of your battery, it's just the electronics get wet inside that starter because of the moisture and the swing. But we see some brake issues too as well, or heater blower, your blower fan that blows the heat around in the inside of the car. We see that quite a bit.
I want to ask you.
Obviously, the four-wheel drive for the guys that got four-wheel drive trucks. I tell those guys, hey, in the summertime, put it in four-wheel drive just to make sure it's working, and then that way we get the four-wheel drive concerns out of the way before it snows.
Sure. I saw a TikTok recently, and it was someone kind of going around an auto repair shop, talking to all the mechanics and experts, and they were talking about you'd be crazy to not let your car run for 10 minutes before you drive it every single time you drive it. And I wanted to ask you about that.
There's people that say that that's a good idea. There's people that say that's not a good idea. If you're like me, it's I've pushed the button and we go. But unless it is a cold morning, I know my truck and like several other vehicles, they've got remote starts.
Right.
Start them up.
Yeah.
Let them run just a few minutes. I mean, it's nice to get into a vehicle that's got some options and so forth. It's got some heated seats or whatever. You get in and you're nice and warm. But it also allows all the fluids in the transmission and the engine to flow around and get a little bit of warm, and you're not just ramming and jamming.
Should you use the max button when you're just getting the car going?
Is that like the max AC or the max
Max
heat?
AC, max heat.
I've never really been a fan of getting in and just
Hammering it?
flying, turning the blower all the way up to high. You're generally just blowing around cold air. It uses most of the vehicles, unless you're talking about an electric vehicle, they use the cooling system, the engine coolant, to warm a little radiator, which is inside your car, and then that's where the heat comes from. So unless things are warm and that coolant's warm, it's not gonna. You're just blowing around cold air.
Andy, what's this?
I was going to have Matt tell you what it is, Bart.
Oh, this is a Cadillac that they decided to put the starter under the intake manifold. So I thought it was a pretty cool picture to take and explain sometimes how interesting our job is and how hard it is to get to a simple starter.
So is this something that someone else did, or that's how this is put in?
That's how it's
That's how
put
they
in.
do
That's
it.
how it's designed. That's
So
how
you-
you. Yep.
Wow.
That's where the starter's located, and the
Okay.
starter was bad, and it was. I think it was an older Cadillac CTS.
Okay.
So vehicle that had some clearance issues as far as where the starter would go on the outside. So I thought it was a neat picture.
Yeah.
People say our job is easy.
No. You've got to. I mean, think. Tell us about some of these repairs. You've got to take apart so much of the vehicle to get to the location of said repair.
Yeah, and it's not like if you're in all the other skilled trades you're doing one thing. In our skilled trade, we're doing more than one thing. We're doing air conditioning, we're doing oil, and we're doing mechanical repairs, and we're doing brakes, and there's 8 different areas that we need to be certified in Michigan, and there's more than just changing parts.
Yes, for sure.
You know where G-Force Automotive is?
I sure do.
They're under the rainbow.
Under the rainbow.
Under the rainbow.
Rainbow. Oh yeah, that picture. Yeah, this was recently actually. One of the final rainstorms in September, I believe, and it's all rainbows up on West End.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
Good to
At
be on.
Clawson, G-Force Automotive. More of the morning show after this.